A handwritten 8 enters the network, signals race forward, and the model answers 3 with 92% confidence. It is confidently wrong. Now comes the real mystery. How can a machine turn that failure into a better next prediction? Not by feeling regret, not by replaying a thought. A neural network does not understand its mistake the way a person might. It needs the mistake translated into mathematics. During training, each example arrives with a target. Here, the drawing is labeled 8. The drawing is the input. 8 is the answer the training process asks the model to move toward. The input flows forward through layers of weighted connections. Each weight is just a number that strengthens, weakens, or flips part of a signal. Together, those numbers shape the model's prediction. At the output, the network gives 3 a higher score than 8. Those scores can be converted into probabilities, but confidence only describes the model's preference. It does not prove the preference is correct. Now, the target appears beside the prediction. Expected 8, predicted 3. Training needs a rule that turns this mismatch into one number. That rule is called a loss function. A small loss means the prediction fits the training objective well. A large loss means it fits poorly. The exact formula depends on the task, but its job is always to give optimization a direction. For classification, a confidently wrong prediction is usually punished more than an uncertain one. The loss responds not only to which answer won, but also to how the model distributed its confidence. Loss is not a universal meter of truth. It measures performance against the objective and targets people supplied. If those targets are wrong, the loss can reward the wrong lesson. Knowing the loss is not enough, the network may contain millions or billions of adjustable weights. Which ones should change in what direction, and by how much? Backpropagation answers that question efficiently. It works backward through the operations used in the forward pass, applying the chain rule to calculate how sensitive the loss is to each weight. The chain rule links local effects together. Backpropagation asks how one operation affected the next, then combines those effects all the way from the loss back to an earlier weight. That sensitivity is a gradient. A positive or negative gradient tells us which local direction would raise or lower the loss. Its size tells us how strongly that weight affects the loss nearby. Backpropagation computes the gradients. It does not update the model by itself. An optimizer reads those gradients and decides how to adjust the weights. The simplest update is easy to picture. Take the old weight, subtract the gradient multiplied by a learning rate, and get a new weight. The change is deliberately small. Imagine every possible setting of the weights as a location in a vast landscape. The height at each location is the loss. Training begins somewhere on that terrain. The gradient points toward the steepest local rise. To reduce loss, the optimizer steps in the opposite direction. That basic strategy is called gradient descent. After one update, the model has not mastered handwriting. The same 8 passes again, and the network may be slightly less wrong. Learning is accumulation, not revelation. Training repeats this loop across many 3s and 8s. Predict forward, measure the loss, calculate gradients backward, update the weights, then start again. The learning rate controls the step size. Too small, and the field barely moves. Training may take painfully long. Too large, and the updates overshoot. The network can bounce from one bad configuration to another, lowering loss on one step and exploding it on the next. In practice, models often learn from a small batch of examples at once. Combining their gradients makes each update reflect more than a single drawing, though the estimate is still noisy. Because each mini-batch sees only part of the data, its direction is imperfect. The path may zigzag, yet many noisy steps can still carry the model toward a region with lower loss. One complete pass through the training set is called an epoch. Across many batches and epochs, the network's internal boundary between 3 and 8 gradually takes shape. But low training loss is not the final test. A model can memorize the examples it has seen. The real question is whether the learned pattern works on new examples. So we hold back a fresh handwritten digit. It never contributed a gradient. When the model correctly recognizes this new 8, we see evidence of generalization. A validation set helps us choose settings while training. A separate test set acts like a final exam. Keeping that final evidence untouched makes the evaluation more honest. Generalization means the network learned a useful pattern, not merely a list of training samples. That is why training performance and test performance must stay separate. Now corrupt one label. A clear 8 is accidentally marked 3. The math still works perfectly. Loss gradients, update. But the update pulls the model in the wrong educational direction. This is a crucial lesson. Optimization is obedient. It follows the targets and objective it receives. It cannot independently decide that a label is unfair, careless, or false. Data can teach shortcuts too. Imagine every training 8 has a thick stroke, while every 3 has a thin one. The model may learn thickness instead of shape. It can score beautifully on familiar data and fail the moment a thin 8 appears. More training on the same shortcut may make the wrong pattern stronger. That is why better learning is not simply more repetition. It requires representative data, useful objectives, validation on unseen cases, and people who investigate failures. Another common myth: a deployed chatbot does not necessarily update its weights after every conversation. In many systems, learning happens in a separate training process, while ordinary use runs the frozen model. The distinction matters. Inference uses the current weights to produce an answer. Training changes those weights using feedback. The two processes can look connected to users while remaining technically separate. Now, replace the handwritten digit with a sequence of words during language model pre-training. The network sees earlier tokens and predicts the next one. If the observed next token is different from the model's prediction, a loss function measures the mismatch. Backpropagation computes gradients, and an optimizer updates the weights. The scale is enormous, many layers, vast datasets, and huge numbers of updates, but the core rhythm remains recognizable. Prediction, loss, gradients, update, repeat. Later training stages may use demonstrations, preferences, or other feedback. Their objectives differ, but many still rely on gradient-based correction to shape the model's behavior. None of this means every kind of AI learns identically. It means this loop is one of the central engines behind modern neural networks. Here's the mental model to keep. A prediction travels forward, a measured correction travels backward. The optimizer makes a small change. Repetition turns those small changes into learned behavior. AI learns by correction, not reflection. It can become remarkably capable without ever feeling a mistake, and what it learns depends on the data, the objective, and the people who choose both.